Which African countries are going to the 2026 World Cup? It is another international break, guys, and it is actually the final round of African World Cup qualifiers. In this video, I'm going to break down all the games that are going to be taking place tomorrow, Wednesday, for you guys to understand. 12 games are going to be taking place tomorrow, so I'm going to break down all the 12 games that are going to be taking place tomorrow for you guys. And in this same video, I'm going to show you guys how the tables are already looking like, because for now, just Morocco, Tunisia have already secured their ticket for the 2026 World Cup. And at this point in time, many African countries are one step to the 2026 World Cup and one step to their homes, right? So there is a possibility that at the end of the day, some top African countries are going to miss out, like Nigeria, Cameroon. So these countries can miss out on the 2026 World Cup, and a country like Egypt is just one step away from getting their qualification ticket. South Africa is also one ticket away from getting their qualification ticket. So in this video, I'm going to help you guys to understand all of those things. Like I said, many games are going to be taking place tomorrow, and if this is the first time you are coming across my YouTube channel, I will appreciate if you can hit a thumb up to a video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and watch the video carefully till the end, and tell me what you think about all the fixtures that are going to be taking place tomorrow. Now, the first game is going to be that of Eritrea versus Morocco. I think this game was actually cancelled. It was actually the first game that was to take place tomorrow, and for no reasons the game was actually cancelled. So I don't know why the game was cancelled. Let us just wait and see the latest updates from CAF. Right, there is a game of Eswatini against Angola. Now, this game is going to be a tough one. Remember, this Angola might not go to the 2026 World Cup, and they know that with maximum points they can secure a chance of going to the 2026 World Cup. And just 2 games are left for us to know the 9 African countries will be going to the 2026 World Cup. For now, we already know 2. And now there is a game of Ethiopia versus Guinea-Bissau, Libya versus Cape Verde. Now, Cape Verde coming into this game, they know they're already ahead of Cameroon. They defeated Cameroon during the last international break, meaning if they win this game tomorrow against Libya, they know that they are going to the 2026 World Cup. If they can grab a victory tomorrow against Libya, and then their qualification ticket is going to be secured in their final game of the World Cup qualifiers. Mauritius versus Cameroon. The chances of these 2 countries going to the World Cup are very low. Mauritius, for example, is not going to the World Cup. They have already been eliminated. And Cameroon, at this time, is still struggling. The chances of Cameroon going to the World Cup depends on the performances from Cape Verde, and the chances of Cameroon not going to the World Cup also depends on the performances from Cape Verde. So it is going to be a tough game, and I know at the end of the day, Cameroon might win the game. Central Africa versus Ghana. Ghana is going to the 2026 World Cup for sure. They are going to the 2026 World Cup. In this same video, I'm going to show you guys how their table is already looking like, so don't panic. There is the game of Chad versus Mali. I think Mali actually missed out, and if they suffer a defeat against Chad, then they're completely out. There is the game of Comoros versus Madagascar. I think Madagascar is fighting. They are seeing their eyes on that 2026 World Cup, and at the same time their eyes are blinking, so let us not panic. The game of Djibouti versus Egypt. I think after this game, Egypt will be going to the World Cup. Sure, they need just 1 point in this game to secure the 2026 World Cup ticket. Sierra Leone versus Burkina Faso. And then there is also the game of Niger versus Congo, Tanzania versus Zambia. So all of these games are going to be taking place tomorrow. Now let us take a look at Group A and Group B before going to the other groups. When you take a look at Group A, Egypt is seated at the top of the table with 20 points, followed by Burkina Faso with 15 points, meaning Egypt at this point needs just 1 point, and they have a game tomorrow against Djibouti. In case of a victory, they are going to the 2026 World Cup. And Burkina Faso, I think the only chance of Burkina Faso going to the World Cup will be through the knockout stage. Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau, Ethiopia, and Djibouti have all been disqualified. Senegal, when you take a look at Group B, Senegal is seated at the top of the table. They defeated Mali during the last international break, and that's the reason why they're seated at the top of the table. And in case of a victory, 2 victories, in fact just 1 victory and 1 draw during this international break, Senegal is going. Also, it depends on the performances from Congo, because Senegal know that if they drop 2 points and Congo wins all their games, then Congo is going. So Senegal is still there at the top of Group B with 18 points. DR Congo, that Democratic Republic of Congo, with 16 points. Sudan, Togo, Mauritania, and South Sudan have all been disqualified. And now when you go to Group C and D, you take a look at Group C, notice that Benin is seated at the top of the table with 14 points. South Africa is occupying the second spot with 14 points. Now, when you take a look at this group, right, you notice that the chances of any country going to the World Cup are very high. The reason why South Africa is occupying now the second spot is simply because 3 points were removed from them, because it's as if they played a player that had a double yellow card, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the reason why they are occupying the second spot now. And South Africa know that the chances of them going to the World Cup are still alive. Benin also knows that the chances of them going to the World Cup are also still alive. So they need to grab the maximum points possible. There are 6 more points to fight for. And if Benin get the 6 points, South Africa gets the 6 points, then goals are going to differentiate the two teams. South Africa, thinking of going there and 3 points being deducted from them, tells them that they have to fight for those remaining 6 points, and their opponents are not going, because they have a game against Zimbabwe and Rwanda, if I'm not mistaken, so they're not going to really suffer that much again. Nigeria is not really off, but to me, I think the chances of Nigeria going to the World Cup is around 1% out of 100. Rwanda eliminated, Lesotho eliminated, Zimbabwe eliminated. And now when you take a look at Group D, the group of Cape Verde, Cameroon, Libya, Angola, Mauritius, Eswatini. When you take a look at the top of the table, Cape Verde with 19 points, followed by Cameroon with 15 points. So the point separation between Cape Verde and Cameroon is 4 points. How is Cameroon going to cover that up? Because just 6 points are left. And if Cape Verde wins their next game, right, the chances of them going to the World Cup are around 99% out of 100. And Cameroon have just 2 games. The next game tomorrow is going to be against Mauritius. They have to win that game. They have to win that game. Though the chances of Cameroon going to the World Cup is around 1 of 100. Libya, Angola, Mauritius, Eswatini. Should I say Libya is disqualified? Because the chances of Libya still going to the playoff depends on the statistics of Cameroon. So let me just say Angola, Mauritius, Eswatini have all been disqualified. Now when you take a look at Group E and F, the group of Morocco and the group of Ivory Coast, you notice that when you take a look at Group E, Morocco is seated at the top with 21 points. They have already secured their points, their World Cup ticket. So they are one of the countries African countries that have already qualified for the 2026 World Cup. And when you take a look at the second spot, Tanzania with 10 points, there is no way. Niger eliminated, Zambia eliminated, Congo eliminated, Eritrea with 0 points after 6 games. So they have also been eliminated. Now, Eritrea is not even in the competition. So I don't even know what they are doing here. They have 0 points, 0 games played, nothing, everything is 0. When you take a look at Group F, there is Ivory Coast, that's Cote d'Ivoire, with 20 points. 20 points. And now they know that Gabon is just 1 point behind them. Gabon has 19 points. Ivory Coast with 20 points. 6 more points to fight for. And Ivory Coast knows very well, if they just make a mistake, they are going down. Meaning if they just drop 2 points and Gabon get their 3 points, they are moving top. So this group is a risky group. Ivory Coast is seeing the 2026 World Cup with one eye and the other one is closed. Gabon is also seeing the 2026 World Cup. So for now, I cannot predict this group, because when you take a look at the group very well, Gambia, Burundi, Kenya, and Seychelles have all been eliminated. Ivory Coast and Gabon are going to fight till the final game of the competition. And now when you take a look at Group G and Group H, Algeria is there at the top of Group G. And they need how many points to go? They need just 2 points. So if they win their game, the next game they are qualifying for the 2026 World Cup, Uganda disqualify, Mozambique disqualify, Guinea disqualify, Botswana disqualify, Somalia disqualify. When you take a look at Group H, Tunisia is sitting at the top with 22 points. They have already qualified already. In this World Cup qualifiers, I think if you have at least 5 points difference, 5 points difference from your opponent at this stage, I think you are going home. So Tunisia with 22 points have already qualified. Namibia disqualified, because I don't even think they'll be considered as one of the best losers to go for playoff. Liberia disqualified, Malawi disqualified, Equatorial Guinea disqualified, Sao Tome 8 games, 0 victory, 0 goal, so disqualified. And we take a look at the final group of Ghana. Ghana at this time, like I said, they are just 1 step away. Right, they're just 1 step away and they need just 2 points. When you take a look at the group of Ghana, you discover that they are seated at the top of the table with 19 points, followed by Madagascar with 16 points. And now there is something in this group. Ghana is in their qualification ticket getting closer to them, and Madagascar is seeing their playoff ticket also getting closer to them as their best losers, because 9 teams are going to leave Africa and qualify directly for the 2026 World Cup, and there is going to be a best loser. That's a team known as best loser that will compete with other countries around the world to get that qualification ticket. So Madagascar is seeing themselves around that area, and then there is Comoros disqualify, Mali disqualify, Central Africa disqualify, Chad disqualify. And now when you take a look at the ranking of second place teams, means the best losers. If the games were to end now, you see that Gabon will be having 19 points as the best losers, followed by Madagascar with 16 points, DR Congo 16 points, Burkina Faso 15 points. In fact, from these best losers, the only 4 countries that have chance enough is Gabon, Madagascar, DR Congo, Burkina Faso, Cameroon eliminated, Namibia eliminated, Uganda eliminated, South Africa eliminated, Tanzania eliminated. And to those of you who still don't understand what it means by ranking of second best teams, now when you take a look at the ranking of these second place teams, you notice that those top 4 teams, Gabon will play against Burkina Faso, Madagascar will play against DR Congo, and the winners will go and have a final, right? That is the winner between Gabon and Burkina Faso will play the winner between Madagascar and DR Congo, and the final winner now will secure a playoff game against other countries around the world. After that game against any country around the world that also went through the same the directions as them, after that game they will now get a qualification ticket if they can win. Meaning, if you are placed around the second place teams, you have at least, let me say, you have at least 3 games to get their qualification ticket. So those are the criteria that are needed from these second place teams. Guys, I've come to the end of the video. Like I said, many games are going to be taking place tomorrow in this African World Cup qualifiers game, and for now Tunisia and Morocco have all secured the 2026 World Cup ticket. So who do you think is going to be next? Because Egypt is just 1 step away, Ivory Coast is also 1 step away, Gabon is 1 step away, Ghana is 1 step away, and many other countries are just steps away. Who do you think is going to be next? And most importantly, can you predict some of these games that are going to be taking place tomorrow? And most importantly, if you are still to subscribe to this YouTube channel, I actually watch a video right up to the level, just help me subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the thumb up to the video, you drop at least a comment down in the comment section. See you guys until my next video.